Well, greetings. It's Keith Sharwood from Sacramento. Those of you on the John Sayers forum will remember my thread as the gargantuan partial garage conversion. Well, I am happy to report that the project is starting up again after a very long hiatus, and I'm pretty excited about finally getting this bloody thing done. I won't get into the dozen or so years of delays that I had basically picking it up again, but you'll be happy to know it is happening. So this here is a big old pile of mineral wool insulation that I bought a dozen years ago that's actually been sitting in my rehearsal studio space to be, just out of the way. I've actually pulled it out of the space temporarily. It's going to go back in a few minutes, but the reason that I did that is that I want to be able to take some video of the space in its current condition because I intend to visit the permit counter at my city this next week to see if I can get a new permit assigned because my other one lapsed. But I thought I would shoot some video and show y'all what it looks like, because before all you had were still pictures, and I didn't even have a camera that was able to do video before. So this is the space. It measures about 8 by 14, a little bit bigger than that, I think. And the current condition, status is that an isolated slab is in place. You might have seen pictures of that pour. That was a hell of a job. Can't even imagine the amount of work that I went through to dig down and break up the existing floor and everything. But anyway, it's here and it's great. It's level, it's thick, it's a minimum of 6 inches thick all throughout, with probably close to 12 inches thick around the perimeter. It has J-bolts in the concrete that come through to the sole plate of the walls on the inner leaf. The outer leaf has, I think I've got 3 or 4 layers of drywall in between each of the stud bays, up against the OSB on the outside where there's stucco on the other side. All the rough electrical is done, and my mini split air conditioner is installed and fully functional. I'll show you the other side of this out in the backyard in just a moment, but it is on. It is blowing nice cold air, which we could really use because it's going to be a hot one today in Sacramento at the end of July. This is the control panel for my heat recovery ventilator system, which is currently powered down because I've got something else plugged into it up in the attic right now. But that's where the main system lives. It's in the attic. Maybe I'll shoot a little bit of that too. Up in the ceiling, I have 2 silencer ducts that will be coming to and from the heat recovery ventilator. The way I describe this is one will suck and one will blow. So this system will provide fresh air into the space, and that system will make it a nice comfortable temperature. I have several dedicated electrical circuits in here, probably way overboard on that. There are 4 outlet boxes in the ceiling that will just have regular outlets in them, and then I can plug in some rope lighting or LED lighting, mood lighting that will be on top of some acoustic treatments that I'll have suspended from the ceiling, some kind of artistic looking stuff. I don't want it to just look like, egg crate crap. I'd like it to look really nice and inspiring. These kind of roundish boxes, those will be wall sconces on the wall. There are 4 of them. So for like load in and load out, that'll be those will be turned on and give a nice amount of light in here. And then I'll have 2 gang outlets up high Those will also be for outlets for mood lighting behind acoustic treatments. It's a rectangular space, which, anybody telling you that if you're designing a studio, you don't want to have a rectangular space or any parallel walls. But I really didn't have a choice in the matter based on how the garage is structured. Before I did this build, the space between the distance between the main door and the back wall was 38 feet, which is a long space. It's basically a 3-car tandem garage, or it was before this went in. Now it is a 2-car garage, effectively. That's my car in the driveway. It normally fits in here just fine when all this crap isn't in the way. On the outer leaf, it's 2x4 construction, although I have a little bit of 2x6 here for reasons I won't bother you with, but it just made sense to do based on how the attic bottom chords of the trusses were situated. There's also new concrete that went down here. I won't get into the whole why that had to be done, but it had to be done. The electrical outlets, basically anywhere there's electrical boxes, you can see they're sticking out pretty far, and that's because I've got a little sample of what the wall material will be. So this is an OSB 1/2 inch plus 5/8 drywall times 3, and this will go up like that, and you can see it's almost a perfect thickness. See that? So that's what these walls are going to be built up. And actually, you can get a good idea here. I've got a 1/2 inch piece of plywood and then some 5/8 drywall, or some 5/8 plywood kind of cascading on top of that here by the mini split, and that's so that I can layer the 5/8 drywall in each of these and have a good surface to screw it onto. Even the silencers have OSB plus drywall on top of it, because that is essentially a weak spot in the ceiling. So I'm hoping to make up for it with that. What else can I tell you? Oh, I'm going to have 3-way switches here at the entrance and at the rear. I figure my drum kit will be in the back under the mini split. Thank you very much. And then a design decision that I've made recently, I think what I'm going to do is on the back wall, all the way from ceiling to floor, I'm going to use a rock facade. You see them on homes, on the exterior of homes. I'm basically going to make a rock wall or a block wall behind the drum kit, and I'm thinking about maybe the first 3 feet all around the perimeter doing the same thing. For a number of reasons, I think that'll make an irregular surface on the walls and kind of cut down on the effects of having parallel walls in here. Again, this isn't going to be a recording space, it's going to be a rehearsal space. I've always had a dream to be able to play my drums and make as much noise as I want without bothering anybody. And being that this is a suburban neighborhood, the homes are very close together. The setbacks on the side of the house are 5 feet from wall to fence. So my next door neighbor house literally is 10 feet away from this house. And the wife also doesn't really want me to be making a ton of noise when she's trying to relax, so I don't blame her. So that's it on the room. What I'm going to do now is take a quick pause and run back in the backyard so you can see the other side of the mini split. All right, this is what happens when you live near the international airport, as I do. You get jet airplanes flying by all the time. This is the backyard, and this is the exterior unit on the mini split. Has its own dedicated 20 amp power circuit. It goes straight from the power source at the front of the house all the way here through this conduit into this service disconnect, supplies the unit, and then the unit supplies the power for the indoor unit. This downspout here on the corner is downspout materials, PVC downspout material for a rain gutter, but I'm actually not using it as such. Its dedicated purpose is to contain and protect the refrigerant lines for the mini split. I did all the installation of the mini split myself, with the exception of the final hookup of the refrigerant lines and charging it with R410A refrigerant. That was done by a certified HVAC tech. I just used a couple of concrete blocks, filled them in with mortar, and sunk some bolts into it for it to be mounted to. And it's really stable, not going anywhere. I used leftover 3/4 crushed granite underneath it. I removed some pavers back here to make room for it. So that's the mini split. And then up here you see those two large ventilation hoods. Those supply the heat recovery ventilator in the garage. It's actually the heat recovery ventilator is in the attic, but one of these is going to suck and one of them is going to blow. And just to give you an idea, the little hood there, that's the fart fan in the master bathroom here, right behind this wall. So it's got quite a distance from these hoods all the way over to the garage. You can see the house is kind of deceptively long. The studio starts about here. Here's the condensation line for the mini split doing its job. And here we are back. So hope you appreciated that little tour. I hope you're as excited as I am that this thing is actually going to get off the ground again. And I look forward to posting updates as they occur. And by my posting this, kind of makes me accountable to y'all to make sure it actually happens, right? All right, peace out.